Hi and welcome to another session from Blender Insight. Basic modeling is what we are going to do this time, and I will start with lesson 1, and it will be just a simple table. And to do that we need a reference image, so I take a reference image here and select UV image editor, and then I have it here. You don't have it on your computer, I believe, but it's just so you can see what I'm doing. So this is what I call a basic table, and well, it's not that basic that you normally see, but for me it's basic, and for you it will also be basic when we are finished with this tutorial. And the reason that I selected this table is of course that you have some pitfalls and so on that you can fall into, and you can scream and I don't know, crash your computer and whatever if you don't know how to do it. So I just wanted to show you this level of modeling. It's very simple when you know how to do it. So let's start right away with our cube. We do not delete it, we use it. So just press tab, go to edit mode, scale it down, SZ in the Z axis. And what I will do now is that I will use it together with the mirror modifier, and that is of course because a table has 4 legs, so it's no use doing every leg. It's just do one leg and then the other one will automatically be copied if I use a mirror modifier. So I just press G for move or grab X1, so GX1, and then GY1, and then I moved everything, but I have my start point, as you can see, in the corner here. Before I now add the mirror modifier, I need to avoid my first trap, and that is I cannot keep the faces where the mirror modifier meets, because in that case it will destroy when you do subdivision and so on. So those two need to go. So I select faces here. I select that face and hold down shift and select that face and then delete faces. So now they are open here, and now I can add my mirror modifier. So I press add modifier, mirror modifier, and you immediately get one direction here, but if you press Y you also get the complete table like this. The next thing you need to think about, which will be the next trap, is to put clipping here. If you don't put clipping in, it will be very easy that these parts will loosen from each other. If you put in clipping, they will always be connected, the mirror modifiers. So keep clipping checked like that. Now we can go to the bottom, so view bottom here, and now you have it. And what we will start with is trying to make this part here, which is that box there, or cube, and then you have this wooden thing here, and what we can see is that it's inside the edge a bit here, and that wooden thing is also inside that edge a bit. So could be hard, could also be easy. That is how you do it, that depends on that. So talking too much, just show you right now. Just press Ctrl R and then press number 6 and 2 clicks, Ctrl R and then 6, 2 clicks, and now you have a good template for where to put these things. Now that template will put the outer limit here for us, so we will not use those inside, but that we will use. So I continue with Ctrl R and put 4 and 2 clicks, and Ctrl R and 4 and 2 clicks, and now I will start working with this part here. So I select faces, and when I select faces I get a good path to work with, because now I can put my wooden thing here, I can put my wooden thing here, and I can put my start of the leg here. So to do that in a simple way, I just click on that first one, then I keep Control key down and I click on this one, and then I still keep my Control down key down, control key down, and then I click here, and then you get this pattern here. Now I release my control button and keep shift instead, so I just add that, and so on, so I get those legs here. And now it's just for me to extrude, so E and then in Z mode here, so press Z one or twice. If you should see the blue line on your computer, so you know it's going straight up. Then you try to find a good, you follow that one, not this one, you follow that, and then you see you can move it G, Z until you get something that it's looking good like this. Okay, now you have started, and that was not so hard, was it? We need to make this a little bit longer. That is just to press A to deselect everything, and then you can use view bottom if you want to, and just press C and just paint this part here and press escape, and now you have selected just that one, and just press E, Z to go up a bit, so you get this part as well. And now we built it. Yeah, the first step is finished. That's rather easy. And what we should do now is that we should do this circle thing here. What I would like to avoid is to keep the faces here, because as I said before, faces could be trouble when you do some subdivide, which we will do later on. So remove those faces so you don't have them anymore. And then you press Alt, or first you select edges here, then you press Alt, and now you can work with this one, pressing E for extruding, just drag it upwards. Now you can see it changing to a circle here. So how to do it is just to E set, just go up a small bit here, like that. And now we should change that. So we press Shift Alt S. And if you do that, you can just drag the mouse here, and you can see it changed now to a circle like that. And then you can just scale it down a bit, pressing S and use the mouse, and you can move it down GZ a bit like that. And then you have a really nice way of going from this square thing to a circle. And then it's just to build, basically build the table here, or table leg, using just E for extrude, set for the direction, and then scale. So I just start doing it. I don't do exactly like this, but just so you can see how it works. I just E set, I drag it up a bit, and I can view selected here, so you get a bit closer, it's easier to see. And I just scale it up, E set, scale it up, work your way with the E and Z axis. Now you can see it disappears, but it's just because it's too close here, so you just go away from the camera a bit, the clipping. And then you can just continue doing whatever pattern you want to do, and you don't have to do exactly as this table here. As I said, it's just so you get the theory behind it. If you want to do sharp edges that goes out and in, then have a short distance, because if you have a long distance, and if we take now add modifier subdivision here, it will not be so sharp here. As you can see in the bottom here, it's not that sharp, and especially now it's a little bit round. We will fix that later on, but when you build it up here, it could be good to know that if you want to do some sharp changes, keep the loops rather tight, and where you don't have to have them tight, well, then take it further away, but just to have it in mind. So as I said, take it down, G set, perhaps take it down here, and then just continue, S for scale and so on, to get a good shape with, and I will not, as I said, I will not follow that that table. Sorry, now I don't know exactly what I was doing here. Press escape, Ctrl Z. Now I'm back, I think. Okay, I will not do exactly as this table here, because it will take time for us. Right now it's just to make the table. So now I've started to do something here, and now I will have a long, so I just add E, extrude it up like this, and it could then scale it like that. So we have something, and if I put it, I just turn it around so I can see it. Could be that I should drag it even more. It's easy to see on a distance if it looks okay. Yeah, that looks okay. So I go back again and can then press view selected, or use the numpad and point, and I do this little thing in the end as well. So extrude, set, scale it up a bit, and then extrude, set, scale it up, and so on, and so on, and scale it down a bit, and scale it, extrude, and scale, and so on. And now we take out a bit, and we do the end here, so extrude, and that will be the foot here. And now I press F, and to avoid to get around, I just press E for inset, and now I get it good here. What I now would like to do is to, if I go a little bit closer here, you can see that this part, or perhaps you can't see, but this part is not quite round. So I would like this to be a little bit more squared than I have here. So there are different ways to do it, and I think one thing you should do if you have not done it so far is to add loop tools into your toolbox. So if you haven't, use File, use Preferences, go to Add-ons, search for loop tools, and then you get this one. Press check, and then save user settings, and now you have loop tools in, because there you have a lot of tools that could be really good to work with, and here you have loop tools, as you can see. And in this case I will use it, so I just take and select all these here, and then for every third I will take away one. So 1, 2, 3 on, 1 off, 1, 2, 3 on, 1 off, 1, 2, 3 on, like this. And then I go to flatten, press the arrow here, and I will not flatten in that direction, just in this direction. So I lock it, and then I press flatten here. And if I do that, I get a nice nice thing here where we can see that there are another shape that is not exactly this shape here. So now we are starting to get somewhere. Next thing we have to do is to clean the edges up a little bit, because here they are rather sharp, and here they are like, not blurry, but they are very smooth, and we don't like that. And it's the same here, and it's the same down here, and so on. And what you do that, or how you do that, is just to add some loop cuts as well. So you go back here, and we can start with the table here. So just go to Ctrl R and select the area. See if you can get it here, there, and you just drag it like this, and you can do the same here. So you select the area on this side, or we can do it, you can do it first here, then you can take it down there. It's easier if you move a little bit. And we take that area here and we move that. And then finally we take it up as well. So I press Ctrl R and move it up. Can save a little bit so we don't get it too hard edge. Some bevel it's good to have. Okay, and then we do the same on this area here. So we press Ctrl R here and then we move it up like this. And we can do the same here. So press have to zoom out a bit so we can see. Ctrl R and then I just go down like this, and if I want to change that then I just press G twice and then I can move it up and down. So I can put it like this. Okay, so now I have more sharp edges on my table and it's starting looking really good here. Now next step will be to get these inset things here. So it's not that hard. We select faces and then I just click Alt and on the faces here, and now everyone is selected. And I go to select and now I can just select checker deselect, and every second one will now be selected. And I go to, now I will do inset on these and then I will drag them into this leg here. And to make it go inside from every direction here, I select normal here and I select that we are working with individual origins when we do it. So select those two and then you press I and you go in just very bit. You can even go out a bit just so you have if I go really close you can see it's just very thin line between the outer line and the inner line. And then you press Y once again and you take that out again so it's almost touching the other one. And now you can just press G and set twice, and now you can see that the lines are going inside. So now you can just drag it in like this so you get a nice inset into it. If you now look at the corner up here, it doesn't look that good, but it's very easily changed. So just press Ctrl R and drag that up until you get a nice circular shape here. And you can, if you want, to do the same at the bottom here. So you can select Ctrl R and drag it down until you get something that you are satisfied with here. And if you want it not to go all the way down, then just make Ctrl R before doing the inset here. Then you can select the area between those two. But now I've done it all the way down. So if I look at it, it looks like that, and I can, if I want to, of course, put smooth here. And now it's really looking like a nice table. The only thing we have left is this part here. So I will do it like very easily. I select Ctrl R in this direction and I drag it down to wherever I would like to have the upper line, like here somewhere. And now I press Ctrl R again, and now I built this area here. So I press 4 and I can now select holding down Alt, select the edges here, and I will select that line here and I will select that line here. So I select those two lines, and now I can just press S and Z to scale them, and to make the move then you have to change this to median points, because then it take the median between these two, which means if I press SZ it will go down, and I go almost down to the middle here, but not the complete way, but almost. And then I change to faces here, and I can select let's see here, so we can take that part here And if I now take numpad and point, I go to the selected here. I used view selected. And I start there. And then I go here and hold down Control and click here. And I get that line. And I would like to have the same line here. So now I just press Shift once to have that. And that is still kept. And then I go to the end. And just hold Control down and click this one. And now I have selected these two. So what I do now is I go back to individual origins, because now we just will work. Now we will just work with these two here. Okay, now I think the words were matching what I was thinking. Okay, and then it's just to move this inside. So G and Z twice, and then you can see two blue lines, and you just drag them a little bit in like this, and then you are finished. So now you have those in as well, and you have your table ready. Then we can of course texture it and so on, and that I will take in my next session. I can see here that we have, I will just do one more thing, and that is just to clear this thing up as well. So I press Ctrl R here, and I drag that up here, and now I get it better, and I can take even this one like that. So now I got a sharp edge here. It's always good to be picky or careful when you do things. Okay, so now we have our table ready, and this is how it will be. And I can show you one more thing, and that is to make a really nice cloth up here. If I now press set, this is how it looks, and that is because I have used Subdivide twice. And I will do a little bit of a trick now, and I will also save some polygons. So I go back to edit mode, pressing tab. I select this one so I can see through my table, and then I select view bottom, so I'm here. And next thing I will do is select faces, and then I will press numpad 5, so I go to orthographic mode. And now I can press B and deselect all these like that. And what I will do now is that I press delete, but I will not delete the faces, I will dissolve the faces here. And if I dissolve faces, they will keep the face but take away the edges. And if I look at this view with object here, it has not changed anything. Everything looks so nice still, like that. It's no problem at all. Orthographic, perspective, everything looked nice. But if we go to wireframe, you can see that we got this nice pattern that we can use if we want to make like tablecloth or something like that. So I just go to object mode again, or solid here, and then I go to edit mode, pressing tab, so I have this, and I stop seeing everything through it, so I click that, so now I can see only the top. I select view top like this, and press A so I don't have anything selected, and then B to select things, and I select that top here, and only that one is selected, nothing else. So I now press Shift D to copy and press enter, and then I press P for separate selection, and I go to object mode again. And now I have two objects. I have one object that is the table, and I have one object that is made for being the tablecloth later on. So I take that one, and I can hide other, view global local. So now I only work with my tablecloth, and I press tab to go to edit mode. And if I look very, very close, I can see that it doesn't look so good here, and that is because we have doubles of the verticals. So just select A to select everything, go down and remove doubles here, and now you could see that everything looks nice again, and we still have the pattern here, as you can see. Okay, so what we'll do now is that we take the edges here and press Alt to select the edge from that side, and then hold down Shift and press Alt to select the edge on this side, and now we have both of these selected. Then we just press E for extrude and Z to drag them down, and that will be our lower part of our tablecloth. We take them and select the vertices here, and we deselect that vertices and we deselect that vertices because now I will scale a bit, and if I scale a bit it will distract the mirror modifier. So if I take that away it will be no problem. So now I can scale it like that, and just a bit, and not much at all, just a small bit. And what I will do now is also that I will do, you could do like use a cloth simulator or something like that, but I will not do that. I will put this Control R like 5 times, so I get some squares here, and then I will just select the bottom part like this, and pressing Alt and then select that, and I will press Subdivide just once, and when I've done that I get a lot of things here. And why should I use that? Yes, well, that's because if I use fractal now I can get some changes in my cloth, and I can decide exactly how much or whatever I would like to do, just so I get something like this. Then I have nothing that is perfectly, just a little bit, and then I can just take that vertex out and press enable here, do some small scaling, changing this one to medium point, and better to use G, yes, so we have something out like that. So now we simulated cloth, and now we can take the table back again, and we can make this a little bit bigger, pressing scale, just a small amount, and there we have it. And if we press render now, it will not have any good patterns at all, but it will have some cloth here. So to make that, you just do like this. You go down here, you select node editor, you select, go to solid so we can see, you have this selected, you go here, you select use nodes, and now we should do some magic. We just keep the diffuse, or change it to principle if you want to, and we put in a transparent, we do some mix shader here, put them together, and we do an input that is called wireframe here, and put that in here. And if I now press rendered, you can see the patterns here that we have done. Now it doesn't look so good, but if you just change those two, so you have diffuse in the bottom and also go way up with transparent, you have it. But now you have the complete table, you can see through the table here, and that is because since we did a copy, the material also got on the table. So just go to solid, select the table and remove it there, and do another table material like this. And if you now select rendered, you will have different, and to see it we can change the color of the table. So, and now we have a very simple made tablecloth, but it looks more than simple. So easy done, and we also have our table done. And that is all, and we have succeeded now in building this table. And if you want it longer, well, since it's mirror modifier, then you can just go into tab, solid, and then just select everything and like GX or whatever to drag it out, and then you have it in that way. So yes, very simple to do. Okay, hope you have learned how to do a table, and in the next chapter I think I will texture it for you as well, so you get a nice look on it. Have a nice day, and hope you learned something today as well, and don't forget to be a follower. Okay, bye.